All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into an incredibly chaotic, frankly fascinating matchup, the Universal Championship clash at Fastlane 2021 between Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan. Honestly, it's a perfect case study in power versus technique.
So, setting the stage, Daniel Bryan walked into Fastlane making a monumental guarantee. He literally said, "I will tap out Roman Reigns." I mean, think about the sheer audacity of that claim for a second. No elite grappler had ever made the champion submit. So the central dramatic question for us today is, could the ultimate underdog actually force the head of the table to surrender?
Let's jump into Section 1, the road to WrestleMania.
Now, the stakes here, absolutely massive. Obviously, the Universal Championship is on the line, but it's more than that. The winner officially advances to the main event of WrestleMania. And waiting for them there is the 2021 Royal Rumble winner, Edge, who just so happens to be right there serving as the special ringside enforcer. Talk about a front-row scouting report, right?
Well, you might be wondering what a special ringside enforcer actually does. Basically, it's an outside official granted the authority to intervene or make counts if the primary referee gets incapacitated. Keep that definition tucked away because, spoiler alert, this specific authority becomes the ultimate pivot point for the match's completely chaotic climax.
Moving right along to Section 2, power versus technique. We're looking at a classic tale of two entirely different competitors here. On one hand, Roman Reigns possesses undeniable size, pure, unadulterated power, and just unshakable confidence. On the other, Daniel Bryan brings immeasurable heart, serious resilience, and an absolute arsenal of elite grappling skills. It's literally raw physical dominance pitted against rapid-fire submission holds.
203. That is the number of days Roman Reigns had completely dominated as the Universal Champion going into this bout. His special counsel, Paul Heyman, chillingly called Reigns the place prayers go to die. And honestly, he wasn't wrong, because as soon as opponents built any kind of momentum, Reigns would just shut the whole shebang down with sheer force.
Which brings us to Section 3, psychological warfare.
So Bryan didn't just rush the bigger champion. That would be a disaster. He used a highly methodical strategy. Step 1, target the legs to completely take away Roman's base. Step 2, manipulate the joints. Step 3, drain his stamina to start toying with his psyche. All of this was carefully designed to set up Step 4, applying his signature submission, the yes lock. It was like a giant puzzle he was piecing together.
But you know, an angry Roman is a dangerous Roman. Reigns eventually countered Bryan's tactical mind games with just malicious power. He stopped Bryan's momentum ice cold with massive moves. We're talking one of the most impactful side headlock takeovers you'll ever see, and a punishing Boston Crab that practically bent the challenger in half backwards. Just brutal stuff.
Okay, this leads us into Section 4, orchestrated chaos.
As the match reached an absolute fever pitch, we have to ask the big question, can Bryan actually fulfill that ultimate promise? In an incredible sequence, a desperate Reigns gets caught. Bryan traps him in a triangle choke, hammering away, and then smoothly, almost effortlessly, transitions directly into the agonizing yes lock. The champion is flailing, screaming in pain in the center of the ring, trapped completely by the challenger's elite technique.
And then, the structure of the match just completely evaporates into sheer anarchy. Let's track this. Minute 1, the official is accidentally knocked out by Bryan. By minute 2, Edge has to step in to count a desperately close near fall. Minute 3 brings Jey Uso interfering with massive super kicks to save the champion. And by minute 4, a battered Daniel Bryan snaps, grabbing a steel chair for revenge. What started as a wrestling clinic literally turned into a war zone.
And that sets the stage for Section 5, the Phantom Tapout. Every single second of this sequence matters. Amidst the chaos of wielding that chair, Bryan accidentally strikes Edge, Reigns capitalizes, hitting a Superman punch and goes for the spear. Actually, scratch that. Bryan counters the spear straight into the yes lock. Reigns is fading, and then, no way, he physically taps out. He taps, but the enforcer Edge is down and blinded by rage, completely missing the submission.
This is mine! Mine! Furious over being hit, the rated-R superstar completely loses it. He storms the ring, violently attacking both Bryan and Reigns with the steel chair. Instead of enforcing the rules, Edge wrecks the entire matchup, effectively abandoning his post.
Finally, let's look at Section 6, WrestleMania implications.
So who is the survivor?
With Edge storming off and a new official finally sliding into the ring, a barely conscious Roman Reigns manages to drag his body over to drape an arm across Daniel Bryan. The referee counts to 3. Reigns capitalizes on the absolute carnage to secure the pinfall, officially punching his ticket to the grandest stage of them all and retaining his championship.
But we have to leave you with this final, crazy thought. Roman Reigns, the unbeatable champion, officially tapped out, but it went completely unseen by the very man whose job it was to watch. With Roman surviving only because of Edge's violent interference, how does this phantom tap-out fundamentally change the dynamic of the main event of WrestleMania? It's a brilliant, messy, and totally captivating narrative twist. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and we'll see you next time as we dive into another fascinating breakdown.